You're back with Bobby and JJ Radio. Today we're introducing you to a fantastic program called Break Fast and Launch. If you've dreamed of starting your own culinary business, I hope you'll be inspired to take the next steps in learning business sense with our guest, Ryan.salts. Now, Ryan, the name Break Fast and Launch is clearly a play on the words breakfast and lunch. That is so brilliant. Can I give you credit for that?
You can, yes.
Can I take credit for it?
Sure.
You can
Who gets credit today?
I remember when I came up with it.
With Break Fast and Launch?
Yeah.
How
It just came to me.
We're sitting in a room. I remember it.
It was superb. That was just brilliant.
That's what I
Well, Ryan, what are you doing to get the word out about Break Fast and Launch?
So we originally started in 2015 with a grant from the SBA. They had this brand new program for starting accelerators and funding them. We had kind of met a need. We had applied at the right time. We got that money, and so that kind of gave us some initial national press in that we were recognized at the White House with a number of other accepted awardees as well. From there, we've really just kind of doubled down on making the program great, and by the support of the mentors that we've had, it's really accelerated some of the press that we've gotten locally, regionally, and nationally. And I really have to put it on the backbones of the people that we have accepted in our program. They are the ones that are getting us known.
So
and
the testimonials, basically.
Yeah, the testimonials. I mean, Manira Small, she got an article in NPR. I mean, that was her being amazing, not me by any means. So
we're gonna give you credit because you're in the business of taking credit today. Just so you know. That's just a good thing. It's fine. So Manira is a great success story. We're gonna have her on the program later. But tell us about some of your other favorite success stories.
So, there's a handful of them, and we measure success in a couple different fashions, right? So, to give you a little bit more background on exactly who we accept in the program, you have to have some amount of industry experience. You have to, have a true passion for it, because it's not enough that your grandmother really loves your pies and says, "Hey, man, you should really make pies en masse. This is the best thing ever." You have to have that stamina to really withstand the whole thing. It's not for the lighthearted, for sure.
It's a labor of love.
It truly is, at some point, and this is the fun part, right? Once you're running the business, you're no longer making, the cakes, which you actually like to make, the food in the kitchen, which you actually like to make. So, with that, we really have a couple different measures of success. We have mitigated failure. We have, kind of surefire success, or we have kind of redirected passion, if you will. If somebody doesn't start their business because they've realized that this was actually a lot, that's success too, because in this industry, more so than the tech company that is down the road, that went out of business, and hey, I never downloaded their app, so therefore whatever. People really invest their life savings into this. This is a community feel. If we can save somebody's total life from being bankrupt, both monetarily and whatever,
by not even doing it.
Either that,
the exact success is not doing it sometimes. Success is true success.
Or we're going to have some kind of undercover restaurant rehabilitation show come in and...
I don't know. I mean, maybe, we're in early talks, right, with people. But so that's just to give you an example, a version of success. One of my favorite versions of success is actually the connections that came through the program. We had a guy in our second group. He is a home brewer, had been a home brewer for roughly 30 years, was very interested in making the jump to owning his own craft beer bar. I mentioned a lot of craft, but there are other stories as well. He got connected with some local distillers in town that own a distillery on the south side called Dorschel. And he was able to partner with them and is now making beer for them. So if in some amount of time you see High Wheel beer on the shelves, that was a direct connection made by him meeting the distillers through the program, connecting there, and now them expanding a product line. Going back to that mitigated failure segment, we had two sisters open up a restaurant on the near west side of downtown. Unfortunately, when they opened, they didn't realize that or nobody told them that the streets were going to be torn up. And at first it was 3 months, then it was 6, then it was 12, then it was 18. And I don't personally have the pocketbook to withstand that, but they didn't either. So how do we figure that out? We have to, figure out how do we renegotiate this lease so that you're not paying for a restaurant floor that you're not using because nobody can get to your place.
Yeah, so you help walk them through the entire process.
I would say that the mentors do, and I help facilitate everything that happens.
How would you say that failure of a restaurant, how it would impact the community?
So as I mentioned before, it's kind of that, tech startup. If you never heard about them, you never use them. The law firm that you never called, well, who cares? But it's the true community impact is felt in, hey, I went to the coffee shop down the road, or I went to the restaurant for breakfast tacos every morning, and when they went out of business, it was a true community, heart loss, right? You have I used to know the guy that worked behind the counter. He was from Detroit. I was from Detroit. We both talked about the Red Wings. Like, there was true connections there. I met my girlfriend, or I met my husband there, or, anything. I had my birthday party there, and now they're gone, right? Yeah. That not only is it like a personal feel for me, it's a personal feel that echoes and reverberates for many people. And then you have this empty storefront to kind of further sink it in,
Yeah. All right, well, if you're interested in finding more about Break Fast and Launch, you can visit breakfastlaunch.com. You can email ryan.salts, that's SALTS, at cafecommercesa.org, or you can call 210-802-1504. We'll be back at the bottom of the hour after a few words from our show partners and this week's listing commercial by the Trey Group. Stay tuned.